Happy Monday, everyone.
I'm not ready. I didn't have the microphone.
Drag it
Oh, sorry.
across the floor. It's perfect.
Sorry. That's so sorry.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming and joining us for another Monday Night Draw live stream. This one's going to be Pitt, which I'm excited to do and also very nervous to do. I have drawn Pitt. Before I broke into comics, I'm a huge Dale Keown fan. I can't finish the sentence. I'm a massive Dale Keown fan. And he's one of my big influences. And I drew Pitt a bunch of times before I got in, just practicing. I love Dale Keown's Hulk run, his Pitt stuff. He did a Pitt Hulk book. He also did Darkness for Top Cow, which was beautiful, beautiful stuff. I remember starting it at Top Cow, we were all in studio, and Pitt for a little while was actually being colored in-house at Top Cow. So we would get the original pages, and it was mind-blowing seeing them. So this is a big one for me. I'm actually going to draw this sideways. I think this is the first time I've done this, but I want to draw him kind of jumping out, and he's so wide. I actually tried to game it on the page vertically, and it just didn't fit. So I decided to go this way, and I'm gonna. Oh, and before I start, we had a question about proportion and how to draw a figure standing there in proportion. And so I'm going to go ahead and just cover that really quickly first. And so if I when I draw a figure, I always start with the chest. And I recommend that you do that because the chest and your pelvis, I'm going to draw a pelvis, are really the core of your body. And everything that comes out of them are limbs, essentially. Even your head, you could basically call a limb. I mean, it projects out from the body. And so I'm going to go ahead and just draw a body. And this could be all out of proportion, but we can check it and then fix it in just a minute. By the way, and I've recommended this a few times, but I really recommend that you go to howtodrawcomics.net YouTube channel, and they have a phenomenal video on proportion, and I really recommend that you take a look at that. That can be very helpful. I was too short in the chest there. So here's my head, my other arm, and my other hand. Now, what you really should know is that this is your crotch level. Your wrist should actually just be about crotch level. So I'm going to adjust my hands to be just about there. And your belly button is about here, and that's about where your elbows are. I'm good there. Your legs are about the same distance here as they are here, should be about the same length. And your figure should be about 8.5 to 9 heads high, and we'll see. So this is going to be a measurement for my head. I'm going to skip the neck. That's about 1/2 a head high. And so let's measure the no having to actually measure way. Okay, so that will be, so that's 1. This will be 2, 3, 4. Button up against my desk here. 5. Come on. 6, 7, 8. And just about 1/2. So I'm actually pretty good. But that's really the kind of proportions you want to have. Just based on your head, you want your body to be about 8.5 heads tall. And that's a very simple measurement. Obviously, you can go more in depth. You can get just how deep your chest should be, how long your body should be in proportion with your legs. But really for that, I again recommend howtodrawcomics.net. They've got such a great video. I have not done a video on that just because I don't think I can beat that one. I think it's really the best resource for it. So there you go. I hope that is helpful. All right, let's get into it.
All right.
Oh, and by the way, this is for Lance DuBois, this one. Lance has been asking for Pitt for a while, and I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Well, here we go. We're drawing Pitt.
I'm drawing Pitt. And
I saw Lance's here, so I was afraid he wasn't going to make it. And we also have Stone Tower Graphics watching, which I think is very, very cool. They have an incredible printing company.
In Texas? Over there?
Actually, I'm not sure. But what's that?
I'm talking to the cat.
We just got a really great package from Stone Tower Graphics, so I really appreciate it. And I recommend if you need something printed.
Wait, we don't have it quite yet because I have to get it.
I saw that it's an email.
Yeah, cleared through customs.
Yes, we have to declare through. We're in Canada. That's how it goes. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys sending it. So thank you so much for that.
All right, I have a super chat from Daniel Castelli for $4.99. Daniel says, "Hey guys, just letting you know we are studying some of your work in NMA's new sequential art course with George Pratt. Your work really stands above."
Okay, so what school is this?
NMA.
NMA, okay.
I don't know what school that is.
All right. Let me get my Pitt reference that I had ready here. Okay.
I feel badly. The cat is all over me tonight. In my computer. Your trouble is kitten.
All right, get with the program. Meredith basically fell asleep on the couch, so it's going to be that kind of night.
I'm waking up. I'm waking up. I'm waking up. All right. I do want to say thank you to everybody who supported the Kickstarter so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We had a great week with the Kickstarter. Yeah. It's doing really, really well. I think I can tell you in Canadian dollars because that's what it shows up as automatically. And I like it more because Canadian dollars aren't worth as much, so it looks better. But we're at 60,000 just over. So I mean, absolutely incredible. Yeah.
I just look at the number of backers.
We couldn't have done it without you guys. So
I just look at backer number.
Okay.
Because I know you have a goal. 640 backers so far.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Ooh, it would be cool if we could get to like 1,000 backers.
It would be cool. I don't know. That could be very difficult. I mean,
well,
we still have time.
We're only 360 backers away.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
When you look at it like that.
Not impossible.
Not impossible. When we have 375 people right now watching Monday Night Draw. I mean, to be fair, probably most of them have already got their books.
Yeah,
But if you haven't already got your book, head on over to Kickstarter. At least one person wants to name a chicken. I feel like that was Artsy Bible Nerd, so thanks, Artsy.
Artsy, why? Why?
Because he has a sense of humor like Meredith. Meredith, he gets it. Yeah. NMA, thank you, Daniel. Daniel super chat us again. I'm sorry for $4.99. NMA is New Masters Academy. Do you not remember they tried to get you for the course on this very stream?
That's
and
right.
You said how great they were?
Oh, well, if you would have said New Masters Academy, I would have said okay.
Oh, that's hilarious. We're the worst, Daniel.
And I did talk to New Masters Academy, and they were very, very nice. And we talked about doing something, and it ultimately didn't work out just because I'm up in Canada. And at the time, we couldn't travel at all. Now it's still not the easiest from Canada. So I said, I'd love to do it, but we kind of had to put that one off to a different time. So hopefully at some point I'll be able to do that with them. I think it'd be great. They are an incredible art resource.
Kevin Mandeville says, Meredith Finch is too early for yawning, but I was up late for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which is a great game. It was great.
To be fair, I might have slept through the fourth quarter.
Well, you did.
When I fell asleep, the Cincinnati was winning.
Yeah.
And when I woke up, the Rams had won.
See, I just remember the last time I watched the Rams in the Super Bowl. It's Kurt Warner. It was Dick Vermeil as a coach. Running back is Marshall Faulk was a running back. And I watched him win. Was it the year before? Anyway, they had just won. It was incredible. And yeah, they lost. It was so disappointing. And I think they were heavily favored to win too. I mean, this is a long time ago now, 20 years ago. And it was a great weekend for MMA. There was a fighter, and I can't remember his name, but before the fight, I didn't really have a preference, And they said he had a 2-year-old son named Isaac that he was looking forward to getting home to. And so our youngest is Isaac. So yeah, I was really rooting for him to win, and he won. He pulled it out. So that was great.
How did you segue from Super Bowl to MMA?
Sports.
Okay. Anyway.
Speaking of sports, Henry Jarnick had a comment. I'm going to say it about F1, which is my favorite. And It's a big year. I'm okay. I know nobody. Would you stop? You're doing that right into the microphone.
I know I am.
It's a big year because it's new cars. I know for those of you guys that don't care, whatever, but they have all new cars. It's like a start of a new era, and they're starting to show the cars. And I have not seen them yet. They were putting them out, and I looked at the beginning of the week, and then I forgot. I've been so busy. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to go and see what they've got. All right, go.
All right. What I was going to say about the Kickstarter was a response to a question, because I've had several people ask this question. Nylock wants to know how long till the Kickstarter is over, and the Kickstarter is running until March 7th. I do know a lot of people are like, I'm going to wait till payday, and then I'm going to buy my book on the Kickstarter. But I'm pretty sure, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a while since I did a Kickstarter support. I'm pretty sure that you don't get billed until the Kickstarter closes.
Yeah, they don't get funded unless they hit their goal.
Now, although we've already hit our goal, we don't get funded. Like Kickstarter doesn't bill until the Kickstarter ends, which would be like after March 7th. So if that, I think, now somebody tell me I'm wrong, because I know that I'm not the only person on the stream who has done Kickstarter before. So somebody help me with that, but I'm pretty sure. So if that's your like, oh, I'm holding off because I'm waiting till payday. I think that you won't get billed on your charge on your credit card until the Kickstarter's finished.
Well, there you go. Good to know.
So pretty sure. And Tristan M says we got to 1,000 likes last week. Maybe it's possible we could get to 1,000 people.
I don't know. We got to
book in the hands of 1,000 people.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
This would be cool.
Yep. It'd be great. It really would be great. But,
And Dan Genovese says, who wouldn't want to name a chicken? Right? That's what I'm saying.
Dan's kidding.
No, he's not. He's not kidding. Dan Lassard is here with a super chat for $5. Dan says, good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Finch. You guys are the best. Thanks for all of your art guidance. I feel like I saw on Instagram, I could be wrong, or maybe it was Facebook, Dan entered a picture that he did in a contest. So I have to go and vote for Dan on his picture.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. I know last time I talked to Dan, he was talking about doing a picture, I think for the town of Tecumseh, and I'm not sure if that's what it would be, but
I'm gonna look. Google it, look.
And thank you very much, Dan. I really appreciate it.
Look on my Facebook.
By the way, while Meredith looks, I just finished today. I am doing noses next for the next video, and I finally today filmed it, and mostly through editing. Editing doesn't really take that much. It's just sitting down and doing it. But dinner time happened. So, but it'll be finished today, sent to Yuri, and he's quicker than I am, so he's a little more reliable. So that one will be out just in a couple of days.
So I was right. It's a draw all night contest. So I don't know if that meant that Dan had to draw all night, but you'll like it, Dave, because it's guys with bows and arrows
Here, let's see.
Riding motorcycles.
You guys see that? Here, let me make it.
I don't know if you can make it bigger.
I can. Wow, that is amazing. I wish I could make this a little bigger. Unfortunately, the phone is only so big, but yeah, really incredible. Look at that.
I figured out the secret to the kitten not leaving you alone.
You're trying to get the kitten to not leave you alone? Very cool.
No, the secret to the kitten not leaving you alone is kick her off your lap 500 times in a day. And then when you actually sit down, she won't go away.
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah.
I've never seen her like this. She's like,
lying in your lap on her back.
Like belly to the air, just like so happy to have a little attention. All right. Well done, little kitten. Stop biting me while I scroll through the chat.
As I'm drawing this, all I'm thinking is how amazing it would be to do a live stream with Dale Keown. I don't know if he would ever come on and draw, but that's something that would be really cool to see if we could ever do.
Michael Johnson Korea has a super chat for $4.99. Michael says, any tips on doing chains quick Or do you just have to suck it up, Buttercup, and draw each link? If you're drawing a Pitt monthly, how would you streamline this?
Yeah, that is such a good question. Okay. Oh, and by the way, I owe you an email. It just this week has been. I've got covers
This week, every week.
Yes, but this week especially, I have covers for Walking Dead that come out every 2 weeks. I fell behind a little bit, and so I've had to do 4 of them in quick succession. I'm actually doing 5, and they all kind of hit this week. So, and I can't do 5 covers, pencils, and ink in a week. So it's been, yeah. What was I just about to say something?
Oh, I was right, by the way, on the Kickstarter. Everybody confirmed it. Dan, Larry, Allison, Mark, everybody says Kickstarter doesn't charge your credit card until the last day of the Kickstarter. So if you're waiting to support the Kickstarter because you're waiting to get paid, know that you won't get charged until March 7th anyway. So
right. Okay. So
you can get in anytime.
Chains. So here's the easiest way that I know of to draw chains. I'm just going to draw. Here's some chains. I'm going to wrap it and then come out this. Now, they are a headache. There's no real way around it. But I can kind of simplify it this way. And I'm going to draw. Here's, okay. Let me try this again. So I've got this. I'm going to lighten this down because otherwise it'll be confusing. Now you guys can't even see it. I know. But so here's a link here. I'm just going to draw it as flat. Here's a link here. Another one here. And another one here. And then I've got these ones here. And I want to make sure to give it enough room there that it could actually link through. Here's another link. And another one here. I'm going to end up drawing 1 million of these on Pitt right now, so we'll be getting here anyway. But so it's still a little bit flat, but what I've got is these ones connecting like this. So now that I've got the main bit kind of established, I can start to draw some of the actual dimension in these pieces. So that's the easiest way that I know how to do it. If there's an easy way or an easier way than that, I would love to know, because they are a major hassle to do. They are a suck it up kind of a thing. And I've seen artists that have used like a Photoshop thing where you can just, it's like a brush, but it never really looks organic.
Cool.
Who knows? In a few years, maybe somebody will come up with something that will draw perfect chains in perspective. The problem is once they come up with those tools, we're all sunk. You know that, right? Like it's all over for all of us.
Kelly Art 78 had a question about the Kickstarter, so I'm going to ask this one. Eric Grovar, is there a chance that not everyone will get a book? Kickstarter has a big warning about that. There is no chance that you will not get your book, because we will be printing those books and you will get a book. A book will go to everybody who orders a book.
Yeah, I wonder why Kickstarter would have that warning.
It has that warning because some people run Kickstarters and they take the money and then they don't give a product.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well,
that is why Kickstarter has that warning.
Yeah.
You know, do it at your own, support this project
at your own risk.
At your own risk, and they're not liable.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, you will not get a book.
We wouldn't do that to you guys.
We won't do that to you guys.
But aside from that,
I did Ruth through Kickstarter, and everybody who ordered a copy of Ruth and paid for a copy of Ruth and supported that Kickstarter, they got it. They got what they were supposed to get. So
now, the other thing too is when you did the Kickstarter for Ruth, all of the line art, everything was finished.
Yes.
And this book is entirely finished.
Yeah, it's done.
So I think when that happens, it's a result of
artist not finished.
Well, you want the money because you need the money in order to be able to finance, being able to do the work. I'm speaking in circles, but yeah, it's not the case here. We don't have a product that we're hoping to be able to finance to make happen. It's happened. You
will 100%, if you buy a copy of the book on the Kickstarter, get a book.
As a matter of fact, this sketch will be in next year's book. So you're watching it happen right now.
Watching next year's book.
In real time.
In real time. Keith Jones has a super chat for $4.99. Keith, but I don't see a comment. I'm so sorry.
Well, thank you very much, Keith. And
Thank you.
hopefully
If
you've got
you tag me,
a comment.
then tag me and I will read your comment.
Now, this, unfortunately, this is so I want to say too, and I was going to say this a minute ago. I am drawing a pose, at least pretty closely, to a pose that Dale Keown did. It's Pitt fighting kind of in the snow. And this is from an issue that we colored. I say we, I wasn't coloring it, but Top Cow was coloring when I was there. And so I actually held this original. This would have been, I don't know, 26 years ago, a long time ago. But yeah, it really kind of stayed with me. And when I saw this one, when I was looking for reference, I thought, okay, I've got to draw this one. So it's going to be my version of it. And we're going to fall short because I'm not the okay one. But
all right. Next super chat comes from Samuel Reyes for $5. Samuel says, I'm here. David Finch, good evening to you and the missus. How are the chickens? Chickens are good.
yeah,
Chickens are taking a laying break right
they
now.
are. Yeah, they
Some
slowed
days
down.
we have no eggs. Some days we have 2. Today we had 2. Some days we had 1. This is very common for chickens in the winter because they're molting right now. So they're shedding their feathers and getting ready for new feathers so they have fresh feathers for the year.
Yeah, and they were in our barn for 2 weeks? Just about 2 weeks. We had them in there, and they're outside again, so they're a little happier.
Yeah.
It just got too cold. They couldn't be outside. But when I say outside, they've got a nice house that is sealed up well enough that they're good. But
We're getting a new one next year.
yeah,
That chicken coop sucks. I'm building a new one.
It's
better.
fine. It's just it's a little small, and
it's gonna be better. I'm gonna design it myself.
well, we're gonna have more chickens.
No more plans.
Name your chicken on the Kickstarter.
That's right.
It's embarrassing.
Only 5 more spots left. Rose Illustrates has a super chat for $1.99. Rose says, Happy Valentine's Day, Finches. Happy Valentine's Day.
Is that today?
It is.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, it's okay, honey. I still have the rose because we just had our anniversary.
Yeah, our anniversary is
flowers sitting upstairs on the counter.
Just about a week ago. I bought a bunch of stuff then. Actually, I always make up for our anniversary because they have all the Valentine stuff. So I got a heart-shaped box.
Can I just remind you again, though, my love, that I don't like Lindt chocolate. So even though they put it in a beautiful red heart-shaped box, doesn't make me like it anymore. But Isaac loves it, so I've been putting it in his lunch.
Oh, great!
But
totally
I did
what
like.
I had in mind.
I did like the fruit and nut bar you got me.
See, there you go.
Thank God you got that too.
I wouldn't want to get you too much chocolate anyway.
Why not?
Getting a little.
Hello, Pot. Feeling a little black today?
Yeah. You know what? I haven't put on weight.
Well, there you go. You've stayed your regular fat self.
Wow. At least I was kidding.
Oh my gosh. Isaac was so funny. He was so roasting you in the car on the way home today.
What was he calling me fat?
No. But he made a comment that was hilarious. He and Everett, because Everett came with me. So the two of them were like roasting each other, and then you got thrown under the bus a couple times.
So he was calling me bald.
Well, he always calls you bald.
Yeah, I get that one.
He might have said he was going to kick your pudgy butt or something like that.
Wow.
And it was just, I don't even know what he said.
This is why you have kids.
He says it with love.
Right. Yeah.
Fully respectful. We all know it's fine. Dave's got a good loot from all his barn chores now. Jamal, but I digress. Jamal Rashid has a super chat for $4.99. Are you uncomfortable yet, Dave?
Oh yeah.
I could tell.
Loving this.
Right. Hey, Finch family. Good to be here on Monday night. Draw. God bless you and your family. God bless you too, Jamal. And I hope you have a fantastic week.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much again.
Hope everybody has a fantastic week. I would like to have a fantastic week.
Well, I saw so much of the crew is here, which is great to see.
The regulars.
Henry Jeremick is here.
Regular.
SES Powerlifting is here. I saw him earlier on. Allison McGlone is here.
Oh, Hen Cockley Wants to know if there's a bulk purchase for retailers like some of the other Kickstarter campaigns. That is a great question.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
You know what? We will talk to Jason. And
I forgot his jacket. Dang it.
yeah, that's a great question. Retailer purchases. So I will ask Jason about it. Maybe I'll text him while we're streaming. Then I might be able to come up with an answer.
All right. I need more.
Is the only way to get the book, Alan Mod Art, is the only way to get the book by supporting the Kickstarter. At this time, Alan, that is the only way to get the book, unless somebody sells their copy on eBay after the fact.
Oh, we're going to be using whiteout already.
Uh-oh.
I forgot to give him his jacket.
Thank you, Russ Hicks, for posting our Russ and Eric are amazing moderators, and there is a link Eric pinned at the top of the chat if you do want to go and support the Kickstarter.
If you haven't already.
Pardon?
If you haven't already.
If you have not already. Jasper Plan 9 is a super chat for $4.99. Jasper says, David Finch, Dale Keown is a regular guest on Ethan Van Sciver and Shane Davis's streams. He is Canadian and he will most likely be a guest.
What did he draw though? Because we always do drawing streams.
Yeah, he's not a chatty chat. We're not a chat. The only chatting, chitty chatting, chit chat.
You're fired.
It's me. It's all me. It's all about the Meredith.
So for these chains, I'm going to draw.
It's all about me.
Basically the bottom, a line, and then something like this, and then a line, and then I'll connect it this way.
I can't draw pretty pictures, so I chat at the screen.
Okay.
Maybe I should have gone to bed.
All right. See, and I didn't give myself enough room. The amount of whiteout this picture is going to have already, I can tell. See, I stopped too close here. I want to give myself a little. You can always tell when I'm struggling. My line gets hairier and hairier.
Jimmy Reyes Art says, Dave Finch and Meredith Finch are some of the nicest, honorable people I know. Dave might forget to return a phone call. Hint, hint. But never work. So thanks, Jimmy.
Yeah, I really mean well. I really do. And then there are just times I just get so overwhelmed that I kind of fall away for a little bit, but then I'm back.
And Henry wants to know again, Meredith, how much time do we have to order the book from Kickstarter? You have until March 7th. The Kickstarter ends March 7th. I don't know that we don't have, let me just say this, at this point in time, we have no plans of offering it on Indiegogo. Correct?
Not that I know of. I don't know.
Jason have not talked about that, so
I don't know why one way or another.
Offering it on another, because sometimes people do Kickstarter and then they do Indiegogo. Yeah. We are just doing Kickstarter. So I'm learning how to draw. It says Meredith Finch. There's someone in the Facebook group trying to sell finches. I blocked them. I did see that. I've blocked their posts twice now. And now as a moderator, I've made all their posts have to be chickens or something they're trying to sell. I've made all their posts have to be approved by me. And I keep saying this is not art related, but I guess because it says the finch flock.
Oh, okay. So actual birds.
They thought they were selling birds.
I don't think that's malicious.
No, but I did say. Christopher Bouchard has a super chat for $5. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Finch. Awesome art as always. Any chance you draw the 2022 The Batman? I just found out about your Kickstarter.
22. So the movie Batman. Yeah, actually, I think I have high hopes for that. Look, I know everybody had a problem, or a lot of people were very concerned about the last actor. Help me out here. He's a huge actor. He's friends with Matt Damon. And I can't remember.
Affleck?
Thank you. But he was great, I thought. And I think it's such a shame.
Ben Affleck?
Sure.
Whatever.
If you prefer. But Robert Pattinson, oh man, I don't know. But everything I've seen so far looks great. So,
there you go.
hopefully it really works out. I'm still mostly excited about Moon Knight, though.
Oh yeah, the preview looks good. Keith Jones has a super chat for $4.99.
Hey, there's Keith Jones. He had a chat before, and he didn't have a chat. Remember?
Oh, there we go. Yes. So he super chat again to ask his question. So I wanted to ask Dave if he could give advice. If I have an idea for a great series, should I publish it as just a writer to get it done, or get skill up?
Skill up.
I don't know what that mean. What he means by that.
Okay, I'm going to make a big assumption here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that Skill Up is like Fiverr or something like that, where you can hire an artist that way.
Oh, okay, maybe yeah.
I don't know because I've never approached it that way. Absolutely. And so now his question was: use Skill Up.
If he has a great idea for a series, should I publish it as just a writer to get it done, or like get Skill Up? Like I guess get somebody.
If you want it to be anything other than a novel, you absolutely need an artist. The problem with being or breaking in as a writer is that
it's almost impossible.
Well, with art, it's really easy to see whether you like somebody's art or not. With writing, it's incredibly difficult. Hey, Jimmy Reyes is here. And Anthony G is here.
Jimmy.
Did you? Oh, sorry, Jimmy. Anyway, all right. As a writer, somebody has to sit and read what you've written and read enough of it to be able to really get a sense of it. It's a big commitment that people aren't willing to make. The other problem is that a lot of companies are very reluctant to read unsolicited writing, because if they do a series and there's anything remotely similar, you could sue. And now I know what you're thinking, and I would think the same thing. I'm not going to sue anybody, but people do. And unfortunately, the risk of that means that it's very difficult to get your writing seen just cold. So having an artist draw it, if you can find somebody that really works for you, then I think that's a great way to go. You always run the risk with an artist of hiring somebody that doesn't follow through. It's just a bit of an issue. He's got crisscross across his chest too. He's got so many chains. I don't know how Dale did this. It's like Spawn. I love Spawn.
Sheldon Martin has a super chat for $4.99. Sheldon wants to know, hey, David Meredith, did you guys meet Dale Keown? He has some recent interviews on YouTube. Cool.
Oh yeah,
cool dude.
I've
never met him.
I met him a few times. I remember the first time was years and years ago.
I don't think I've met him. Have I met him?
Actually, I think you probably have. I'm pretty sure.
It would have been early on, maybe.
He is incredibly nice. He's very quiet, my hope would be that he'd be willing to draw. I talked to Dan Fragaboom has come by here before, and that would be a lot of fun. At some point, it'd be nice to have Dan here. He's got his own YouTube channel. And yeah, it'd be great to get Dale Keown. And I know there's a risk because both Dale and Dan have gone on streams that can be divisive. And I understand this, and I have nothing to do with any politics, or I keep that completely away from here entirely. It's just not what we do at all. At the same time, there are artists that I really respect and friends. Dan Franca, when I broke in,
overthinking this. The stream is what you make your stream.
I know, but you know what? I overthink it. Well, so I'm going to sit here and overthink it. Dan Fraga, when I got into comics, I met him in New York. It was the day that I broke into Top Cow, and he sat and talked to me for a good half an hour about my work and gave me advice. And he said, the stuff you're doing, it looks really good. I think really soon you could be on the other side of the desk. And that always really stuck with me because I managed to get there, I've known Dan for years. He used to work at Extreme Studios. He would come by and visit. He was really good friends with Mike Turner over at Top Cow. So yeah. And I hate the idea that it's like these factions that now people can't speak with other, can't stand it. So I'm not doing that.
Keith Jones says, Dave, you're lucky to have Meredith. I can tell she's an amazing. Good women are so hard to find these days. This is what's the best part of this job is I can cherry pick the comments. You're so lucky.
I am very
Thank
lucky.
you so much, Keith.
Thanks, Keith. Because now if I don't say I'm very lucky,
I'm very appreciative of the nice,
trouble.
very nice comment. Oh, we're both lucky. You know what? Luck goes. You make your own luck. You're very good to me, and I'm very good to you. We appreciate each other.
Okay.
Happy Valentine's Day. I love you.
I knew it was coming.
You're the best. My favoriteest person in the whole world.
Gotta stop.
How about I read a super chat from Tagmo Modelworks instead, Dave?
Okay.
For $5. Tag says, "Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Dave." Marathon Dave too. I already had a lot of chocolate and I have a pit in my stomach.
Have we banned Tagmo yet? Tagmo's due.
He's laughing. He says, "I love you guys." That's awesome, Tag. I love the little pit pun. Dan Tua. I hope I said that right. No, I did not. Taua? T-A-U-A. T-A-U-A. Dan Taua has a super chat for $10. Hi, David Meredith. After doing your running course, I have been studying some Silvestri Green Wolverine. Their style is like a beautiful mess. What was your approach when studying their work? Silvestri Green Wolverine. Silvestri Green must be the inker.
Dan Green.
Oh, there you go. Thanks from New Zealand.
Thank you very much for the question. My approach, so when I started looking at Mark Silvestri's artwork, it was through my sister. She had a lot of X-Men comics, and so I started looking at some of his X-Men work, and then some of his Wolverine work, and then I got everything, and then obviously Cyberforce when that came out. That was not Dan Green. Cyberforce actually marking that himself, which I also absolutely loved. But Dan Green he has a very gestural style, and he worked with a lot of different artists, and he just brought out so much character in art. Actually, Jim Lee's first issue of X-Men, which I have somewhere back there. Anyway, I've got it all, it figures. This is how comics are nowadays. I've got it behind like plastic and the whole work, so I can't look at it. I need to just get a copy that I can look at. But Dan Green inked his first X-Men work, and it's amazing the parallels between Jim Lee and Mark Silvestri, two very different artists, really. But you can see just the influence that Dan Green had just inking. But truthfully, when I was starting to look at comics and looking at Mark and Dan Green's work, I had no awareness of how any of this stuff worked, what an inker did, what a penciler did. It was all just art for me. And the style that Dan was doing, it was looser and more gestural, and it just looked more approachable to me. I thought it would be easier. I was wrong. I've said this so many times, but I couldn't imagine trying to draw like Jim Lee or John Byrne, where everything was just so perfect. And I'm a relatively clean artist drawing horrible toes right now. Oh man, this is going to take so much fixing. I'm going quiet while I struggle with toes. I'm going to have to fix it. All right. I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay. Our dad in the Misfits has a super chat for $25. Our dad says Monday night art class is in session. Hope y'all have a good week and stay safe. Have a good night, Finch flock. Oh, the boy says hi, Mr. and Mrs. Finch. Hi, boy. young art child. Misfit 1, maybe Misfit 2. I always called mine Thing 1 and Thing 2.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss.
Yep.
Thank you very much. It's very generous. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Art Dad.
All right.
Paul Essenson has a super chat for $7.99. Paul says, hi there. Book of the week suggestion. Travis Chare's X-Men Wildcats Golden Age.
Have I not done that?
You've done Travis.
I'm going to say that I'm sure that you know what? I did a a summer stream last year, copying a bunch of his artwork with Eric. So we have done that book, but I've never done it for a book of the week. So yeah, that is actually a great suggestion. It's let me roll up my sleeves before I get ink all over them.
Yeah, don't get ink all over that Harley Davidson shirt.
It's got a Harley Davidson thing on the back. Awesome. All right. Meredith loves it.
Oh yeah, my favorites.
I
can't say anything because I wear a lot of horse riding stuff. So.
I practically have no clothing that doesn't have some motorcycle related thing on it now.
At this point,
pretty much.
Drawing with Trust has a super chat for $4.99. That just feels like something you should say with a nice voice. Drawing with Trust. Trust the drawing.
Okay.
Anyway, when drawing a figure smaller, how do you know which details to take out?
You know what? I kind of went through this a little bit with noses, the video that I just finished, but I want to show you. Now, really, I learned what details to leave in and take out, looking at other people's artwork. This is why it is so vitally important to look at other artists, because you won't learn that kind of thing. Got a lot of erasing to do down here. You won't learn that kind of thing just drawing from life. Simplifying things into really simple elements. I'm going to stop and just do this.
What are you doing?
I'm sometimes
You're
I
not
can
even making sense.
I know.
Right now.
I know.
You're
Hold
on.
Well, it's harder for me to erase and draw, I guess.
Apparently,
lost my train of thought. All right.
You can't erase and draw or talk at the same time.
So I'm going to draw. Here's a nose. And this one's pretty big. So we'll just draw this part of the nose. And I'm going to draw in my nostril, get a shadow in there for that. Underneath the ball at the front of the nose. Just about like this. I'm going to draw a little bit of a hit of shadow in here. Right in here. I could even draw maybe a little bit. I don't like doing that much, but I can put that in there and we'll see. And then from here, I'm going to kind of render upward. Render across here. It's a little messy, but you get the idea. And it's fairly detailed. And give it a cast shadow. And maybe a little bit of rendering here. I could even maybe put a little here. Some across here. And, I'm just kind of detailing this thing. So that's pretty detailed. And that's great for a big face. But if you draw that on a tiny little face, it's going to be a mess. And so for a little tiny nose, I'm going to just draw, here's my shape. A little bit of line weight here. A little bit of nostril here. And here's my shadow. And I'm just going to reduce it down to just something about like that. And that would really be the same thing at a smaller size. Anything more, if I try to put that little detail there and that there, you'll just end up with a real mess. So that's really what it comes down to. What I recommend, and as a matter of fact, I want to show you some of what I was looking at, because I brought in some artists to look at something I really recommend. And I always worry when I do these for tutorial videos. I'm like, hey, my advice is always just copy other artists. But Alan Davis is so great at drawing noses. I mean, look at that one right there. Such a great little nose. And it's just a little hits of shadow. And it's understanding, here's some great ones here. It's just understanding the form of the nose enough that you can just get those little bits of shadow. And you can really see he is so great at drawing larger figures. And there are certainly some in here with quite a bit more detail. And then bringing it right down to much smaller figures and just reducing it down to just what you need. So I really recommend looking at an artist like Alan Davis and just trying some of his, I'm just talking about noses as if that was your question. It wasn't your question, but it really stands true for everything. So looking at an artist and looking at what they take in, what they leave out or what they put in from a larger size to a smaller size. Alan Davis isn't a big renderer. I tend to be like, and you can see there's quite a bit of rendering here at a smaller size. You would just simplify this down to lines. So that's really what it comes down to. To a certain extent, it takes just doing it and overdoing it and kind of finding where that line is. All
right. Chris has a super chat for $5. Chris says, Dave, I love your art so much. I had a question. I'm 23 and I feel like I've gotten nowhere with my art. How can I improve and where should I get started?
Thanks for the question. Now, this is a question I get quite a bit, where to start. And it is always very much the same. The number one thing is to just draw. I know that that's such pat, trite advice. Just draw, but it is true. You need to be drawing. And if you're not drawing, that's really kind of step one. And then you need to really draw with a plan. I would say you need to break down your day and say, okay, look at what your weaknesses are as you perceive them. And that'll be different than other people. And you'll get there where you start getting critiques and you start focusing on what people are saying that you need to work on. But for now, you kind of have a sense of the things that you struggle with and you don't feel as comfortable with, whether that's feet or detailed anatomy, whatever it is. And you want to just focus on that. So don't draw pinups and don't draw finished comics. You really want to just focus on those things that you struggle with. So draw noses for a week and draw, maybe not noses for a week, you'll go crazy, but arms from the side, arms from the back, and draw tons of them and try different artists, try life, and make sure you learn where all the muscles go so that when you're looking at different artists, because different artists have a tendency to accentuate different muscles or even have anatomy that's just completely bonkers. Like it doesn't actually make a lot of sense in the real world, but it still looks very cool. And you can kind of see why their anatomy worked and then try for yourself versions. Anyway, you want to focus, learn, and work on your weaknesses, and don't just draw pictures that are cool, because you really will stunt your growth that way.
Don't just draw cool pictures.
Don't just draw cool pictures. Draw the things that you can't draw.
All right. Keith Jones has a super chat for $4.99. Keith says, illustration skill up as an artist. Will it compromise my vision too much? I think I butchered that.
I think okay, try it again.
Illustration skill up as an artist. That's what it says. Like if he increases his illustration skill.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't understand.
I'm 41. I feel like I don't have much time.
Yeah.
Okay, so as an artist, improving his skills as an illustration will compromise his vision. Keith, I'm going to say, first of all, you're young at 41.
Yep.
So don't feel stressed out that you haven't made it, because the great thing about working as an artist is you could work as an artist if you're 80.
Yeah, the people that have it the worst.
There's no deadline.
Hollywood starlets, it is an unfair world, you get a few years and then hopefully you start getting roles that.
How many writers, like when did J.K. Rowling break in as a writer? In her 40s.
Yeah.
Like that's when the Harry Potter books hit her, when she wrote the Harry Potter books. Like the great thing about an art career, any kind of artistic expressive career, is that you can really do it until you just don't want to do it anymore. There's always a chance.
And if you mean your physical vision, it certainly won't. You can get eye fatigue where things get a little blurry, and that can happen to me. But go to bed and wake up in the morning, you're fine. It's not a permanent condition at all.
But if you mean your artistic vision, then I think you always want to improve how you're drawing, and then come. I liken it to what you've done, Dave. You take people and you take people that you like, even though the way they draw might be very different from you, and you do what they're doing, and then it influences your art style, but your style is always still your style.
Yeah, in some ways, in a way that I don't like. there are artists that'll come along that do things beautifully and just have such a great feel. And I'd like to pick some of that up. And I find it so difficult because I just draw like myself. But it does mean that I can pick up a lot from other artists without ever really losing my own identity.
I hope we answered your question.
Yeah, hopefully.
Christopher Bouchard has a super chat for $2. Christopher says, I'm also very excited for Moon Knight as well. He didn't exclamation point it, but I did.
Christopher Bouchard. That sounds like a very Canadian name, doesn't it?
He said very excited, so I was very excited for him.
It's a real hockey name. Christopher Bouchard.
Bouchard. It feels very French. Very Quebecois. He may not be. He may be like living in Texas for all I know, but
it feels like a hockey
in our mind now you're a Quebecois.
That's right.
Hockey playing Frenchman. We made up a story about you. That's the way it is. All right. Greg L. Static Art has a super chat for $1.99. Greg L. says, hey guys, this looks sick.
Thank you very much, Greg.
I can feel my late night last night catching up on me. I feel tired.
By the way,
wave of fatigue washing over me right now.
Oh no, something I've been thinking about for a while.
What?
I did a static for Greg last year, and it was the wrong static, and he'd been asking for ages. And so at some point this year, I'd like to do static again. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Waiter Shush has a super chat for $5. Just saying hi to the flock and you, David Meredith. Prepping for a funded Kickstarter comic launch that I did a cover for. Happening this Saturday. Nervous. Oh, that's exciting, Hater.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to know what it is. I mean,
let us know what.
I understand if you don't want to, say because you're afraid that it's promoting whatever. Just please, I'd love to know.
All right. Other Minds has a super chat for $15.54. Howdy, Dave and Meredith. As impressive as your art talent is, your knowledge of the history of comic art and illustration is equally impressive. Does this come with the territory of being a pro? It comes with the obsessive compulsive nature that is David Finch, in my personal opinion.
Okay, yeah,
but also, I think it's part of being a pro. You just keep studying people.
Yeah, and I mean, the amount of professionals that I know that not only would know every artist that I could possibly mention, but then know 10 other ones that I've never heard of.
Think of it like this. Dave has a PhD in comic art.
No.
You have that level of like in-depth knowledge about, like, you've studied it in depth.
I have a PhD in the very limited part of comic art that I enjoy, because the fact is there are whole schools of approaches to comic art that are really not what I do. And I'd say for me to just say, oh yeah, I understand everything, it kind of...
That actually makes sense, because a PhD is a specialist.
There you go.
The more you get in your degree, the more you hyper specialize. So
I have some understanding of a lot of different sorts of artists, but my biggest understanding really is image and that whole school, and more kind of in your face, render heavy. Like, that's what I really, really love. So I guess that would be my specialty. As a matter of fact, I was just looking through an X-Men book. It's got I was looking for the book of the week.
Did you find one?
Well, yes, but it's actually Eric's book of the week this time.
Oh.
And we talked about it earlier. I'm pretty pumped about this one. You guys are going to like this. But for next week, I'll have mine. Anyway, it's got Jim Cheung's artwork, and I'm a massive Jim Cheung fan, and I'm looking forward to telling you guys all why. But I actually had an issue in the same book, and going back, I'm looking at Jim Cheung stuff, and it's so beautiful and pristine and incredible. And then my stuff is like,
your stuff is your stuff.
It's like a garage band. That's what it feels like. It's just really over rendered and yeah. But I love it. That's what I like. What do you want?
Yeah, that's right. Don't apologize for liking what you like. So does everybody else on the stream.
Whoa. All right.
Joe M. Sontag has a super chat for $4.99. Joe says, I was talking with Bat the other day, and we were talking about him inking you early in your career. he had a lot of good things to say about you.
Oh, well, that's nice to hear. And,
Are you sure he was talking about Dave? Just kidding. Just kidding.
well, Bat is, there are two inkers in my career that have had a major impact on me. Bat is number one, by far and away the most influential inker for a couple of reasons. He not only is an incredible inker that did beautiful stuff over my work and a lot of other people, including, Mark Silvestri and a long list. But he actually really helped me. A lot of the advice that I'm trying to give you guys now, I got from Bat. How to find my style, something I really fought with, and I wanted to quit. There was a little while there where I really kind of lost hope, and I owe the fact. Now I don't know if I would have quit. I'm not much of a quitter, but I really wanted to. And talking to Bat, half an hour later, I was looking at Simon Bisley and breaking down his artwork and finding a new lease on my comic career. And actually, I remember Brandon Peterson. We went and saw Dumb and Dumber in the theater. Brandon Peterson, Marvel artist, phenomenal, and a very good friend. And sometimes he's a little too honest. And he said, yeah, it's a really good thing that you kind of got your work, kind of sorted out and you found yourself a little bit, because they were really considering maybe just having to let you go. I'm like, man, Brandon, thank you. It's good to know.
Zaid Comics has a super chat for $5. This is looking great. Did you hear Dale is coming back with a new Pitt book in the works? Fun fact, Dale said the chains came from his Lobo love.
Hey, look at that. There you go. Yeah, Lobo was he was big at the time. As a matter of fact, I remember when I got Pitt #1, I also got my first issue of Lobo, and I was so disappointed that it was Simon Bisley when I opened the first page, because I was like, what happened? It wasn't Sam Keith, because he had done the cover, and that's why I bought the book. And by the time I got to the second page, I was a bigger Simon Bisley fan. If that's possible, I'm such a huge okay, look, I'm a bigger Simon Bisley fan, but that's only because of Simon Bisley. I'm such a massive Sam Keith fan.
All right, Stone Tower Graphics has a super chat for $4.99. Any tips for drawing hair? I feel like my hair drawings look overdone or cloth-like. Long hair especially. Also, happy Valentine's Day, you two.
Thank you so much. All right. Okay. Hang on. Grab paper here. I should probably. This is part of the nose thing that I did today. Need to find. Okay, I'll just do it here. So, hair can end up looking cloth-like. I'm going to draw. You know what? Let me erase a little bit. So I've got a little room here. Okay. So here's a head. Here's my nose, here's my mouth. Here's my ear. There's basically head. Okay, so when it comes to drawing hair, I'm going to draw it kind of projecting out like this, and then I'll draw it flopping down. So very, very simple. Let me erase underneath this a little bit. Now the other side. And I've got, I don't know if I can really get this across quickly. That's the problem. Like, for me, really making hair work, it's a little time consuming. So it's like, this is going to be the worst tutorial, and I can kind of feel it already. So what I've got here is just a really simple shape, just like this. And then it folds under. And then on the other side, I've got another really simple shape that also, whoops, I don't want that line, that also folds under. And so now I'm going to lighten this down. And I just want to talk about my approach for this. So I'm going to draw a little bit more detail in here. And then here, I want to keep it, I want to make sure that this is an overall shape. So I don't want to get too overly detailed in there. I'm going to draw a bit of a band of hair here, and then create like a bit of a window. So I'll see under here just a little bit. And that really kind of can break it up. Let me, mess. I really like doing that. So I'm actually just extending out the same shape underneath, and it gives it a little bit of, it really makes it look a little bit layered. And here's the side, just like this. Now, that's really kind of all there is to it in a very simple way. The other thing that I can do is I can light it, and so I can put some shadow under here and maybe give it like a little, I'm going right over his eye and everything, and that can add quite a bit of dimension very quickly and easily. And I could do the same thing here. I'll shadow some of this a little bit. You have to be careful because you can start to end up with darker hair, but that's really all there is to it. It's something I really need to put some thought into how to explain better, because I actually, truthfully, don't really have a clean, concise way of explaining how to do it. And I apologize for that, but that's quickly the best that I could do.
All right. The next super chat comes from Hater for $10. Hater says, "It's too kind, you two. It's a fictional story." This is Hater's Kickstarter project that got funded. A fictional story spin-off from a battle here in Singapore during World War II. Basically, sort of our Battle of the Alamo. The 12th to the 15th of February this year is the 80th anniversary here for it. Oh, that
That's
sounds
great.
like a fabulous piece. Well, I'm so glad you got to do a cover for it. You'll have to send me on Instagram or Facebook or something like that.
And it got funded.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
It's happening.
It's great.
All right, Dave, are you doing a book of the week?
Yes.
It's time.
It's time. All right.
I can't hear the music, but
You need Eric. Probably. Eric will come in. I'm not sure if I need to send him an invite. I don't think so. I'm going to send him an invite.
I'm here in the book. I can't get on.
Oh, he's in. Here we go. All right. Hello?
Can you hear me, Dave?
Ken, yes. Perfect. All right.
Great.
Can everybody else hear you? There it is.
That's the question. Happy Valentine's Day, Dave.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Oh, you too. Did you send each other chocolate and flowers?
All right. So, man, I've been really geeking out over this book. Just getting into painting and developing a passion for it. Been learning about various painters, and the Brothers Hildebrand. It came up a lot when I was, looking for various styles, whatever. And I think they were made famous from Lord of the Rings paintings that they'd done prior, which are incredible. And
they also did, I think, the original Star Wars movie poster. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure, though.
Yes, they did do a Star Wars poster as well. That's correct, yeah. And they got commissioned by Marvel to do some paintings. And what's interesting is they were given 6 months to do 158 paintings, which that's getting close to a painting a day.
Yeah, I don't care that there are two of them. That's
and they did an amazing job. They shot all their reference up front. They got all their sketches approved, and they went for it. And the result is part of this book. And this book is hefty. It's going to be a mission to page through it, but there's so much inspiration in here. And what I really like about it is, look, it's just fantastic artwork.
Yeah.
What I really appreciate in it is their use of reference. They got some friends who would pose for them, and again, they shot all this up front before they started painting. For example, here's a group shot, and on the left here, you'll see all the reference that they shot for this, and it's basically one to one. It's actually incredible. For example, I don't know if you can really see it here, but the clothing on this person here, the reference is basically a 1-for-1
Oh
for
yeah.
Storm over here. I think this is a case study in shooting reference and using it, and then tweaking it to however whatever character you're working with. For example, Beast. You'll notice the rim light in his arm is almost 1-for-1. So it's something that I really appreciate in this book is
They would have really had to. Oh, sorry, Eric. They would have really had to have that picture planned out and drawn before reference. So you'd still need to be able to draw well in order to put it together and then match reference to it, or shoot reference to match what you've
absolutely got. Yeah. They got everything sketched. They sent it to Marvel to make sure it got signed off, and then they started shooting reference. Yeah. But I mean, so what's interesting about this piece here? They actually made a cardboard cutout of these wings so that they could make sure that the light and shadow was correct, which I thought was pretty interesting. This is something that I would probably just wing it, excuse the pun, and then end up with something which doesn't look as cool as that. So
yeah,
reading through this and looking at all these pieces again, here's another Beast, and again the lighting is basically 1-for-1. It takes out the guesswork, and you end up with something. While it's a fictional character, it's believable.
Yeah.
Painting, is super hard. It really is. And when you have a sketch, it's one thing. The minute you put paint on it, the complexity just goes up. So having these reference shots here is just really, really cool to see.
I had no idea that in this book they had so much background information and reference, and it's great that they saved all that stuff, because this is more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I went on Greg Hildebrand, I think he's Greg. I went on his website, and there's still 2 paintings of these left that's for sale. They've all been sold. I'm sold, sorry. Except for 2, and I think one of them I can't remember the name. But anyway,
so you're buying it? Are you thinking about it?
If you're so inclined, you can always go there and purchase some originals. This one, I think this is one of the originals that's still left.
Very cool. It's a great looking picture too.
Yeah. So all 158 are in here. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's just awesome. Look at this.
All right.
Oh, Meredith is cutting us off. That is very, very cool, though.
I'm cutting you off. You guys can look through that book together.
Yeah, I don't have this book too, so I've got to put that one on my list.
Cool. Yeah, you can find it on Amazon, and it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
All right, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much, Eric. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
Okay. No problem. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Cutting us off. I could have done that all night. That's the
No,
problem.
I know. That's why I cut you off. Greg L. Static Art has another super chat for $1.99. Greg says, "You'd redo Static? You're truly awesome."
Ah, well, yeah, my pleasure. I felt terribly about it the first time, and
I did the wrong one. All right. It's that time of the night. If you have not already, 589 people are watching, but I only see 516 likes. So right now, hit that like button. I'm hitting mine. I'm going to be 517. So hit the like. And if you aren't already subscribed, 230,000 subscriber, like 4,000 in the last week alone. Don't miss out. Be 200,000. 231. I don't even know. 230,001. Be number 1. I don't know what to say.
wow.
I'm trying.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to Dave's channel. All those people can't be wrong. Don't miss out on the awesome content. 577. Woo woo. People liking the video. All right. Next super chat, as I scroll through my list, comes from Story by Osmosis for $10. Story says, "Hey, David Meredith, you're just about to come up to it, but can you give me a director's commentary on how to differentiate between shadows on the body and clothing? Mine has been blending together."
Oh, that can happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, that can absolutely happen. So this is his leg. He's got kind of leather pants on, and so I'm going to go just a little bit darker with it. But in a lot of ways, it can be a little bit difficult to say. Now, I've got a bit of a seam here. I've got some seams coming through here. I was starting to draw some, but then I've got a big shadow, so it basically got cut off anyway. But I'm going to draw a seam through here, which means I'm going to have to erase that out or white out that out. And that's a big part of it. So I'll draw a little bit of just that little bit. I know I've got this muscle kind of divoting here. And so I'm just drawing a little bit of a shadow for a seam. Maybe I'll do another one here. And that can really make a difference. I've got some seams in here or some folds in here. Other than that, though, unless you do skin that's very, very light and clothing that's really dark or the opposite, it will tend to blend. And I've fought with that for years, so I don't actually have as clean a solution for that as I'd like to be able to give you. It's a problem.
Wow, that sucks.
Thanks.
It sucks that it's a problem.
You know what? It's one among many.
There's lots of problems.
And the thing is, these are all problems that other artists have solved in their own way, and you have to decide if that's a way that works for you or not. A big one, for instance, is having two characters. Look at see?
Smudgy.
It's me just not having the patience. And this stuff is, for whatever reason, this latest ink out of this one here is taking longer to dry. And so I'm ending up with smudges on everything.
So I'm going to read a question from Tomic, Dave.
Okay.
Tomic says, Dave, I have a question. I'm having a tough time drawing a character in a worm's eye view. Any tips? And then he says, you and Meredith are both my inspiration to push harder. Been here since day one. Woo!
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Worm's eye view. Hang on. I'm going to finish his hand really quickly here, or at least some of it here. Otherwise, what ends up happening is I start and then I forget what I was working on. Okay. So to draw a character from Worm's eye view, first, what you really need is perspective. And so I'm going to draw a point here and a point here. This is going to be a tiny little, you know what? Let me draw the other point here so I'm not too small. And I'm just going to draw some perspective. And really, this is all you need. If you don't have perspective in your panel, like you don't have backgrounds and you don't want to have to do all of this really cleanly, you can just do this and this will be enough. But there you go. There's my ground. There's my perspective. I'm going to lighten this down. And so now when I put a figure here, I'm going to draw his chest here. And it's in perspective. His pelvis here. And I'm lining all of this up in perspective as I go. So I've got one knee here. That means the other one is going to be just about here. This hand should line up with this one. His head's way up here. So there you go. There's a worm's eye view. Now, that's not extreme. I'm not exactly drawing it so you're looking at it from a really extreme angle. From a really extreme angle, let's do this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this as blocks just to make it really easy. So there's my chest, my pelvis, my head's going to be up here. Got one arm here. My elbow is going to come up to about here. My hand should be about there because that's my crotch. This one will line up here, so it'll be quite a bit longer. This one will be here. And then I've got one leg here, my other leg here. So they line up. And that should also line up. And so there you go. That's really what it comes down to there. Another thing that you might want to consider, and be careful about using this too much. This is a tool, I think, that can be very misused. But if you use it just to give you kind of some reference for a figure like this that you're really struggling with, get Das 3D. It's free, and they have some free figures that come with it, and you can, and they're very anatomically good. Generally, if you bend the arm, if you raise the arms here, a lot of joints can get a little odd looking, and you don't want an art style that's really too heavily based on that, but they actually can be very useful for getting figures from an odd angle that you're really struggling with. So I'd recommend trying Das 3D.
Cool. It's bad that my eye is twitching. It means I'm tired.
Wake up.
You can't do 2 late nights in a row.
No. I worry too because this is not going super fast.
No, I noticed that. I was worrying about that myself, Dave. I'm not gonna lie. You had to go and pick Pitt
With all the chains.
with all the chains. Oh, so funny because Hater sent me the information to my Instagram, and he said, "Dave, you can go to Mary's Instagram to see it because I know you don't check your DMs." He knows you so well. Dave never checks his DMs. To be fair, I didn't have Instagram on my phone for a while. I just put it back on tonight, so I've got a few DMs I need to respond to.
I hate not checking, but I can't. Ultimately, I can't keep up.
Cannot.
So I just let it go. Like there are times I'll put a picture up on an Instagram and then people comment, and it's a lot of you guys commenting, and I want to respond, and I'm just so overwhelmed that I end up not doing it. I do most of the time, but like the last 2 things that I put up, I didn't respond, and it kills me because I hate to do that, but busy times. All right. Trying to go quickly, but at the same time, I mean, this is Dale Keown that we're talking about here.
Every week it's that.
Yeah, it is. I know. But
Every
you know what?
It's like, I'm trying to go quickly, but at the same time, it was Guts last week.
That's right.
You're like, but at the same time, it's Berserk or whoever drew Berserk. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not Nirosaki or whatever. Who is it?
No, it's now I'm going
You
blank.
won't know either because I asked you.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember a thing when you put me on the spot.
I know. I can't remember a thing when I don't. Can't remember I talk to you half the time. Terrible. Johnny D has a super chat for $5. It's like your wife deaf sometimes. I'm like, don't forget you gotta do this. And then when I tell you to do it, you're like, what? You never told me that. How many times did that happen?
You know what? If you reduced by 25% of the amount of things that you asked me to do, I might remember a few more things.
Oh.
I just forget.
Johnny D is a super chat for $5. Hey, Dave. Would you ever consider drawing William Dafoe's Green Goblin or
William Dafoe, huh?
it says Willem?
Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe, whatever. I'm tired. Leave me alone. It's spelled he spelled it probably correctly, but then it wasn't how I expected to see it. So, or the xenomorph from Alien.
Oh yeah, that would be good too. Both of those are
Dafoe. Whatever.
Anyway, yes.
Why you gotta be that way? It's Valentine's Day. Be nice to me.
All right. Yeah, actually, both of those would be a lot of fun to do. I have not done a lot of stuff, for movies and that kind of thing, and I do think I would enjoy it. It tends to be a little more work intensive because for comics, since artists have to be able to draw it from panel to panel, and not everybody's as crazy as Dale Keown, usually you end up with stuff that's a little more simple.
All right. Scrolling down. Rolling down.
Oh, what a mess I'm making. This, I need to just get this ink out of here because this
Next
doesn't happen
super
normally.
chat comes from Navy Sharks for $10. Hey, David Meredith sending this super chat so Meredith will have something to read and stay awake. LOL.
Yeah, thank you.
Love you all. That's funny. Thanks, Navy Sharks. It's so true. Falling asleep. Wayne Blackman has a super chat for $5. Happy Valentine's Day. Love Finches. Dave, how do you do special effects with rain hitting a pipe like in Batman? Thanks so much.
Hang on.
Oh, and I missed someone's super chat. So Art Kelly, Art78, tag me if I missed it, because obviously I did.
All right.
You don't have to super chat again. Just tag me. All right. Well, I say that you answer.
Right.
Special effects hitting a pipe.
Okay. Rain. So I've got my pipe. Here it is. And I'm just going to shadow the bottom of it. Shadow in here. So there you go. I mean, that's really, and then there's a little detail on the pipe. And then for rain hitting it, what I'm going to do is just draw a bunch of drops kind of coming off the top like this. Just like this. This is really all there is to it. Draw some on it here. I don't want to draw the same shape, which I kind of have done here. You can see I've got maybe a little bit too repetitive, but there, that's it. And then I'm just going to use my eraser. I'm going to erase, unfortunately, quite a bit down from there. And I'm just going to finish out between these things. And the amount of times I end up redrawing things because I want some kind of an effect like this, it's just the easiest way to do it, is a lot. So that's really it there. And I'm going to give it some line weight. Some of these bits here, just to give it a little bit of weight. Got another one here, another one here. And then I can also draw rain kind of coming down the pipe. Just like this here. And then I can now erase the shadow that I had. And could I do this without, put the shadow in afterwards? Yeah, but I find I get lost. So I like to establish my lighting, even though I'm having to erase. I find this is easier for me. If your brain works a little better than me, then you won't run into that, but I do. So there you go. I'm just going to reestablish my shadow. And obviously I take a little more time with that, but that's really all there is to it. It's very, very easy. What a mess.
I'm not sleeping. Alejandro Moreno has a super chat for $5. Hello to the most amazing Valentine's Day couple, Dave and Meredith Finch. Hello, Alejandro. Hope everyone's having a great Valentine's Day. Stay amazing, Finch family. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. I hope everybody had an amazing day.
Yeah, I'm not feeling like we're really the best Valentine couple, considering that I totally didn't even know it was Valentine's Day.
It's totally fine.
But you know what? It's like a kid that has a birthday directly after Christmas. Just get lost in the mix.
Yeah,
we had our anniversary, and it was like it was a couple of days ago. So, yeah.
I'm reading Art Kelly, Art78, and I hope this was it. Meredith super chat, reinsert. LOL. David, thank you so much for doing Pitt, and I finally backed the Kickstarter. So happy. Thank you both for this.
Thank you very much. All the way around. Really appreciate it.
There we go. Sorry, I missed the super chat. Brad Scott Art does a super chat for $10. This is me saying goodnight. Tonight's workout was 500 burpees, so I got nothing left. 500 burpees. That's
500
insane.
burpees, not even humanly possible.
No, I'll have to catch the playback tomorrow. Hope you two had a great day. Miss Meredith rocks. Oh my gosh, go to bed, Brad. I'm thinking of you. 500 burpees is redonkulous. Redonkulous.
Where's SES powerlifting on this? How many burpees can SES do?
I know. No, we're not pitting people against each other. We're celebrating their achievements.
Absolutely. I've done 100 burpees before. I couldn't do it now, but I have in the past. 500? You could not possibly. I don't think. Okay, look, I couldn't do it all at once.
Yeah, don't say you couldn't because you don't know. Train yourself. You don't start at 500. How do you eat an elephant? You don't eat the whole elephant in one day. You take it piece by piece.
That's right. All right. Fair
Start
enough.
with set a goal. Every day you just add 10 more or 20 more. You can do it. You can do it. As evidenced by Brad Scott,
Who has done it?
who has in fact done it. So there you go.
I still want to know how many SES can do.
Maybe he trains differently. That's more of a cardio thing.
It's true. Actually,
It's
that's
less
a good
about
point.
it's about like cardio versus weights.
Yep.
Mako Church has a super chat for $5. Hey DNM, Dave, your inking process is so satisfying. Happy
Thank you very
Valentine's
much.
Day.
You too, and thank you. Normally, I like to be through with this part by 9 o'clock or so. And if I'm not, we're looking at, things get a little out of hand. But
Yeah, it's 9:25. You may have to finish this one after the fact.
well, I'm going to get as much as you know what? We are going to finish at 10 because I know Meredith will lose it. What I don't finish, I'll have to finish later. But I should be able to get quite a bit more done. I should be 90% of the way there at worst.
Rich Ware says, Meredith Finch, I messaged Annie Smith about getting a message to Dale Keown, and he just messaged me. He'd get him the message. So there you go.
Andy Smith?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Maybe he missed the D. Andy Smith. There you go. That makes sense.
Well, thank you. And thank you to Andy Smith. I appreciate it.
Kevin Mandeville says 500 burpees equals 100 pukies. Amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bastion Helders, one does not need to send a super chat to ask a question, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to get to all the questions in the stream. So it is a good way of guaranteeing your question gets asked, if that makes sense.
Yes. And
They do read questions from the stream too. I just don't always, especially at the beginning of the stream. It's especially busy. They don't always get to it. Art Kelly 78 Art Kelly Art 78 says happy anniversary.
thank you very much. You too. Or you too. Happy anniversary. Thank you.
Oh David. Oh David. I can't be missing that many super chats unless something's happening.
Somebody say Miss
Greg
White.
L. Sadicard has a super chat for $4.99. I have trouble with hands in certain positions. Hands like these are an example. How you draw hands in this position on arms in this position.
Okay, let's see this.
He means you.
Oh, hands like this? Oh,
Yeah.
well, okay. So I'm going to draw the base of my hand like this because it's basically what I've got. So that makes sense, right? And then my thumb comes off here. And so I've got a finger here, a finger here, a finger here, and then I ran out of room, so a finger here. And what I want to do is draw basically tubes coming off. This one I'm going to go kind of flat, and this one I'll actually bring down this way a little bit. And then I've got another tube here, and then my last tube here. This one, I'm just going to see that. So there's my tube there. Here's my tube here and here. And then for my thumb, I want it to come kind of toward me. So I'm going to do it like that. So that's basically really all it is. I think it's a really good thing to look at artists that do it well. My favorite for hands like this is me and my brain that's just going here. Hold on. I'm sorry, Carlos Pacheco. But Carlos Pacheco, this has been the book of the week before, but he does, incredible stuff anyway. Like all the way around, the stuff is amazing. But some of his hands, like look at that. That is bananas. All the way through, this book has really, really amazing hands in really cool positions. And I've gotten a lot of my hands from looking at Carlos Pacheco. I've got a few books of his, quite a few. And I've gone through this a few times. Here's a great hand. Look at that one. How great is that? The best way is to just do, there's a great one there. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole book, but I really recommend, this is Bishop the Mountjoy Crisis, X-Men by Carlos Pacheco. It's a great book for hands. It's really kind of my Bible when it comes to those sorts of hands.
All right. Jordan Seward says, Meredith Finch, pun intended, pitting people against each other. Very punny because you're trying to pit SCS.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Pitting people.
Where is SES? Is he gone?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
He was here when we started.
Jim Klein has a super chat for $10. Hey, DNM. I had to join late. Hope you're doing well. Dave, any tips for drawing a hat on a head and the curved brim of a cowboy style hat? I have trouble with both, especially when viewed from below by 3/4.
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just go ahead quickly and clean my picture up a little bit from, I really do need to just get rid of that ink because my normal ink doesn't do this.
Jim also has a super chat that says, happy anniversary for $5.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, hold on here. This is a lot of cleanup. And it also really bleeds through my whiteout. Stuff is a disaster. Guys, sit here and watch me white out. I'm sorry, but it's got to get done. All right, that's going to do. Okay. So head with it. You know, let's just draw it right here. So I've got, and it was a 3/4. What was the angle? She forgot.
3/4.
3/4. So I'm just going to draw it. Here's the head. I'm going to look up at it just a little bit. It really doesn't matter so much. Here's my ear, line for my nose, line for my chin. There's basically my simple head. And the key to drawing a hat is you want to draw it flat around the head, kind of following the same sort of contour that I have for the rest of my features. So here's an eye here, my nose, my mouth. And so there's the part that your head kind of fits into. And now where it gets a little tougher is, and I'm going to draw through, where it gets a little tougher is drawing more of the brim. And so there it is drawn really flat. But a cowboy hat's not going to sit flat. It actually has a bit of it rides up. So from this angle, it would look like this. And then you'd see maybe just a little bit of the top of the hat here. So that's really how I would do it. If you want it to be better than that, probably drawing a Western for a little while would help, or having a hat for reference. Looking down at the hat, it's the same thing. If I've got my head, I'm going to draw around the head. That's where my head, the hat actually sits on the head. Then I've got my central part here. Here's my hat band, I guess. And then I'm going to go a little flat here. And I want to bring this up. So it's going to go a little higher here. And this is going to come up here too. So that's about how I would approach it. It really comes down to drawing it, drawing the head and then drawing it as a band around the head, and then drawing the rest of it around it. Every hat starts kind of basically like that. It's dried just enough that I can kind of clean it up a little more. Sometimes I wonder if I took more time with the pencils, how much time I would save with whiteout, and if it would actually be quicker.
I don't know.
Although most of this whiteout that I'm having to do has nothing to do with making mistakes. It's just this ink is just not drying. All right.
Ugh.
You're
I don't
fine.
know how I missed super chats, but Larry Lambert says apparently I missed a super chat. So Larry, if I missed your super chat, then please tag me and I will read your question. Like I've been pretty on it, but I don't know. Sometimes my screen blips at like maybe
can
when
happen.
Eric was doing his book of the week. Because I'm going back and I don't see any of the super chats that I missed. Anyway. Sheldon Martin says, Meredith, you can do it. I can't do it. I can't make 25 minutes. I'm exhausted. I'm up at 5:30. Jim says, thanks for the hat tricks, Dave. Pun intended. Sing to me, Dave.
Save you? Is that what you
Sing
just...
to me.
Okay.
Sing me a song.
You got to stop.
Why? This is what I do here. I annoy you. It's part of my job. I wouldn't be doing it right if I didn't annoy you.
Well, you're doing great. Keep it up.
Good. Jimmy Reyes says, Meredith Finch, I have a question. How are you so awesome? It's fatigue talking. He's more tired than I am at this point.
He is he?
Just kidding. There it is. Larry says, hi, everyone. Sorry I missed last week. I had a shot put in my right eye to
Alleviate?
I think he means alleviate fluid. So I still cannot see as good, and I'll have to write another one in March. Oh, well, I'm sorry, Larry. I hope you get better and that it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And not fun.
No, not at all. Humong Chili has a super chat for $1.99. In the spirit of Valentine's, how did you two meet? Dave, take it away.
We met online, and we had our first date at a restaurant.
He had a picture that he took of himself sitting on his bed through his bedroom mirror.
Apparently, you're not supposed to do that, but whatever, worked. And our first date,
so earnest. I was like, he's got to be a good,
right?
Got to be a good guy.
And our first date, I didn't actually check when the restaurant was open. We went for lunch. It was open at noon, and we set it for 11:30. It was open, whatever. Anyway, it was a half an hour before the restaurant opened when we got there. So we went and got coffee first, and by then it really should have been the end of it. I don't know how I managed to get past that, but yeah, and it all worked out. I mean,
you were cute because you confessed to the fact that you had a wet shirt on.
Yeah, I had nothing clean because look, I live on my own. What do you want? And so I did the laundry. And I realized I was going to be late, so I put it. It was mostly dry. It was winter. Obviously,
you didn't even have a proper coat.
I say obviously, but we. It was November, so yeah, 'cause it's not our anniversary.
It was a snowy winter.
It was
snowy
November. Snowy winter, and yeah. So there I am in a half wet shirt, and the restaurant didn't open for half an hour after I had arranged the date, and yeah, it still worked out. I mean, we talked and we just really got along. I think we. Had a lot in common. Obviously, we have a lot not in common, but you need that.
You mean obviously? I tell you what to think, and you think it.
I was gonna say more in terms of like, I would consider myself to be an intellectual, whereas you would be more of a, not things like that.
Right. I tell you what to think, and you think it.
There you go. Yeah. She actually asked me a political question, not because she cared, just so she could find out if I knew who she was talking about, to see if I had any idea of what's going on in the world. Again, not that she cared, but that was apparently a criteria that I'm not a total moron.
Well, you did tell me you drew comics for a living. I needed confirmation that you didn't live in your mom's basement.
Yeah.
So you told me you had your own house. Matthew Brook is a super chat for $4.49, but no comment. Matthew, I don't see a comment, so tag me. I hate that I can't pronounce the name because it's in Arabic, I believe, but it says Dave is so still cute and honest. You are so cute and honest.
Hit the camera.
Tagmo Model Works says, tell him what to think and forgets it. That's true. That's exactly how it works. He forgets it. It forgets it.
Yeah.
Like Gollum.
You know what? I got a lot going on in my head that I care about. Meredith hits me with a lot of things that I don't care about. Look, how much do I care about, like the chores and you know what I mean? So yeah, I care, and I do a lot around here. You can't say that I don't, but I definitely struggle to keep some things in my head.
All right. I'm going to distract you with the super chat from Matthew Brook. Matthew says, hi, Dave and Meredith. I currently work in design for animation, but really want to transition to comics. I worry I'm too old at 34, as most people I see get a start in the late teens and 20s.
You would not be unusual at all. And I think that it does not matter how old you are. It really doesn't. The thing that stops people that are older from breaking in, and the reason why so many people get in when they're younger, is because it takes a lot of sacrifice. It's incredibly time intensive. You need to be somebody that for very little money can sit and devote the time that it takes to not only get good enough, but also to do the kind of establishing work to establish your career. And that is not everyone. So that's why it's not any kind of a, you get older and it becomes more difficult. It really is just, you have families and the ability to pursue something like that, it gets harder. So, but it's absolutely doable. It just takes a little more sacrifice. Now, I would say because you're already working, doing art for your career, this would just be a career transition. It's, this isn't a late start at all. It's just trying something different. So I would have been around the same age when I did some video game design. And I hadn't done it before then.
Because
so.
For much of the time I've known him, he's been convinced that he's not going to make it in comics.
Look, I worried that what would happen is taste would change and no one would want me anymore. And, so I've always had a backup plan for years. I thought, okay, I'll work in video games because I love video games. And it took me so long. How old was I? I mean, it took me a long time before I went, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I mean, I love doing it, but before I felt comfortable that I would be able to do this forever.
Jimmy Reyes says, David Finch, tell the viewers about the first comic of yours that Meredith Finch ever saw. And no, he doesn't live in his mom's basement anymore.
Yeah, well, I did when I broke in. I was 22, living in my mother's basement, learning how to draw. So I've certainly been there. Yeah, the first comic that Meredith saw, I brought it with me because I thought, okay, look, if this goes well, the first question that she's going to ask, and I mean, you draw comics for long enough, and you get people looking at you like, what comic? Like, really? That's a job? And so I've gotten used to that. And anyway, so I brought Avengers, which is what I was working on at the time. And the issue that I brought had a huge double-page spread of She-Hulk tearing the Vision in half. It was, I mean, he's a robot, but still, it was
graphic enough.
It was intense.
I had 2 small children. That was almost a deal breaker right there.
Well, what's worse than that? My first comic that I showed to Meredith's parents because they wanted to see, and Meredith brought it out, and I'm like, oh no, but it was too late because it was the one she already brought out was Moon Knight, and in the issue, Moon Knight.
Is that the one he takes out Bushman's face?
Yeah, he cuts Bushman's face off and he holds it up to the moon, and so yeah, your mother got to that page, and I'm like, oh, it's over, done.
Good thing my parents respect me.
Yeah.
They respect me enough to make my own bad decisions. Oh.
Yeah, you don't think that comics, it's a great job, but it is true that a lot of people will look at you like you're a nut job when you tell them that's what you do for a living. I've gotten used to that.
All right. Edward Lee has a super chat for $5. Can you draw Spider-Gwen for a stream? I don't think you ever drawn her.
No, I have not. Actually, yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be a lot of fun, for sure. It's a great idea. I don't know how I haven't done that.
Gino has a joke. You two at times remind me of a joke. Why do husbands die first?
Why?
Because they want to.
Yeah. I think that's a shot at you.
I think it was, Gino. You're banned. Banned. Hold on. I'm scrolling through the chat. Chitty chat chat. Chitty chat corn, and I don't care. I get lost because it scrolls and then it goes back, and got to make sure I am where I am.
You know what it's like to
That's all that I am.
You want to have this art stream. I'm drawing all these like cool angry characters, and I have like this idea in my head of how it's going to go.
And then
the very first stream comes along, and I just get overwhelmed with the chat. I couldn't keep up, so Meredith comes and helps, and this is what it's been ever since.
And now you've got Meredith in the background singing Chitty Chat Chat.
Yeah. How did it all go wrong?
Yeah. So sad. So sad for you. You wouldn't have if you didn't have me doing this, you should thank me because you would not have done this for 2 years.
No, I think that's true.
You would have burnt out because you wouldn't have been able to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
Having me here is what makes this this stream possible.
Well, it's not fun when people just go totally quiet when you're watching something. So, you keep it going, which is great.
Do my best, even if it means saying chitty chat.
Yeah, I mean, could it be better? Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have something to aspire to, someday we'll be professional. But, why be professional in the first or second season? You've got to, aspirations.
Right.
Nick from Detroit says there needs to be a Meredith Finch Sings in the Chat CD.
Yeah. No. This is another sketch where it really is me drawing as like faster than I can think. And so it turns into what it is. This is what deadlines feel like for me. Sometimes when I'm just so overwhelmed, I just have no choice but to just put down whatever. And that's when you really just rely on what you've learned over the years and you hope for the best. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I'm trying to get through quick before Meredith falls apart.
I'm okay. The overwhelming wave of fatigue is past a bit.
Oh, good.
Now I'm just in like dead zone.
Right.
Mike Stewart says, "Oh, Meredith is very useful though for reading chats."
Yes, she is. Mike is an original.
Yeah.
G, another OG.
OG. Bastian Helder says, "Really should go back to bed. It was great having this small live glimpse." Eric Rovart, Russ Hicks, Dave, and Meredith. Thanks for the great stream. You're doing good night, everybody. Good night, Bastien.
Yeah, good night. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for spending time with us. Go to bed.
WKOS07. Don't say that I'll go to bed. Hey, Dave, as a veteran, are there any supplies they don't make anymore that you miss working with?
The thing that really would come to mind the most is the old image paper. This is Strathmore 200 series smooth Bristol board, and it's good, but nothing compares to the original, the image paper that we had. I don't even know what it was. And we had it for years. We just had like block after block of it, and they stopped making it. And I got to Marvel, and their paper was not as good, to say the least. I was so upset with the paper. And then I got used to it. I got really comfortable with it. And the Marvel paper changed because they stopped making that. And so, yeah, I went through another period of desperately trying to find paper. I when I was at DC, I actually they had a period where their paper was they were struggling with it, and they were acknowledging too they were having a hard time finding something that everybody liked. And Bat, actually, talking about Bat again, recommended I try
Matt
this
Banning.
stuff. Matt Banning, yeah, because he was inking me and he was struggling on the paper that the DC was providing. So I switched to this, and I've never switched back. It's been very consistently good. I would call this as good as the Marvel paper when I first got to Marvel. So not as good as the image paper. I actually found a sheet of that stuff. My mother had it in the basement, and she found it. And so I saved it for ages, and then I finally drew a cover on it. I was like, cherished it. It was amazing to work on, but it's gone now.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I know I've told the story before, but when I got to Image, I was doing layouts on another piece of paper and then transferring them, and then drawing the actual picture. And I was doing my layouts on the same paper, which was expensive. And Jim Lee saw that, and he brought me over to the copier paper, and he said, "This stuff you're drawing your pages on is like $2 a sheet." Which now $2 it was more money than it is now. And he said, "This stuff is like a penny." So yeah,
There you go.
I had to switch.
JDSCT says Meredith Finch, forget professional. I prefer authentic. Well, this show is nothing if not authentic.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Fair enough. JDSC for the win. SCT. I can't even say the whole thing. I'm so tired.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't be professional. I didn't even do the intro this time. I don't know if you noticed.
You don't even do the interview. You didn't do it last week either.
Yeah, well, I know what I need to do. I've got a few things, like my lighting scheme I want to change. And every week I think next week I'm going to have it changed. And I'm just so overwhelmed.
You run out of time.
Yeah, and when people have deadlines for me, I was doing YouTube all week. It is not an excuse that they are willing to accept. So,
No.
All right, we're coming along, Meredith.
Excellent.
Time is it? We're doing all right. I won't be able to do some of the fine detail, but I'll get most of it in.
Ross kind of wants to know, Dave, was it the tooth of the paper that you liked, or what? What was it about that made it such great paper?
It was, you could erase spaghetti off of it. I've done it. Spaghetti sauce will come right off of that paper, the old image stuff. No problem.
Oh my gosh, why am I not surprised?
It was just bulletproof.
And yet your pencil would stick.
No, I've never once had my pencil dig into the paper. I never once. And I was learning. So I would erase and erase and erase. And you know what paper will do if you do that too much? Well, this stuff, it would never do it. You could erase forever and it would hold up. This paper won't hold up to that kind of erasing. It holds up to a lot, though. I mean, it is good paper. And it's what I always recommend because I don't know of any better paper. I suppose maybe there's better, but this is actually not even that expensive and better quality than paper that is more expensive. So, and no, they're not a sponsor. Although if they want to be a sponsor.
We have no sponsors.
No, not really.
Soptimore says, if you can't be a pro, then just be entertaining. Well, we're failing on both sets. Said both. we have no hope.
Yeah, you know what? I try to make the picture as nice as I can. There's that.
All right, Johnny Diaz is super chat for $2. Johnny says, "Stay golden and awesome, everyone. Keep practicing."
Sounds like Johnny's cutting out.
Yeah, it does. Getting close to 10. So here's exciting news.
Okay.
Remember when we started tonight? I said that we needed 360 people on your Kickstarter to get to 1,000.
Yeah.
And now you need 339.
Yeah, it's getting there.
Is that right? No, 349. 349 people. So you got 11 backers tonight
Awesome.
on the Kickstarter.
Next week is going to be a big week for the.
Oh yeah, because we've made no Kickstarter announcement this week. So what's going on with Kickstarter? Tell me, fill me in.
I have nothing
What's
to
coming
announce
next week?
My announcement for Kickstarter is we have a lot of big stuff to announce for it next week.
Next week's the big week.
I've got a few things that I've been
adding some more stuff.
Yeah. So, and some pretty some good stuff. So yeah, next week is really going to be a big announcement for it. So if you're waiting for some different tiers, and I'm not thinking like, don't worry, these aren't, this is $1,000 for some crazy stupid thing. It's, reasonably priced stuff that I think will really add a lot of value. And I want to say what it is, but I also don't want to blow it for Jason, who we're going to have in next week to talk about it. By the way, if you missed the last two streams and you're here for this one, Jason Schachter is my art dealer. He is comicsketchart.com. That's not right. That's my convention.
Essential Sequential.
Essentials. I'm sorry, Jason. Comic Sketch Art. When I do conventions, they help me with conventions. Oh, Jason, I'm sorry. He's going to watch this and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm done with you.
Hey, Rob D says.
Hey, it's Rob Doria.
Yeah, he says Fraga still has a lot of the old image paper, apparently.
Oh, figures he would. I wonder if there's, you know what? Maybe I can bribe him some way. It's good to see Rob Doria here.
Pucks has a super chat for $5. How about a Robert Kirkman inspired zombie stream for the upcoming Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
Yeah, I think that'd be a lot of fun. We did Invincible. I did an Invincible drawing a while ago. I draw a lot of zombies for work because I'm doing Walking Dead covers. It'd be something fun to do. There are a few things from Skybound that I think I would really enjoy doing. So it's something we'll have to look at. You know what I would love to draw from Skybound?
You know what's funny?
What?
Sheldon Martin says, I still have my rent money left, so I'm ready for the add-ons. Pay your rent, Sheldon. Pay your rent.
I'd love to draw Battle Pope.
Battle Pope?
Battle Pope is
Skybound?
Yes, it's Robert Kirkman's first creator-owned comic that he ever did. Battle Pope. It's craziness. Anyway, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, Jimmy Reyes says that Strathmore stuff is good too. He says you draw with a heavy hand and he inks with a quill, and that stuff held up.
Yeah, it does. Yep. Yeah, it's quill inkers are the most brutal on paper, and actually, Bat is also a quill inker. So I knew when Jimmy was inking my stuff with a quill, it would hold up really well, and that's always a scary thing. If your quill is digging into the paper, it can take a 3-4 hour job, 5-6, whatever it is, and double it.
Larry Lambert has a super chat for $2. Dave, have you ever used Eon paper? I love it.
No, I haven't. I'll have to give it a try.
Yeah, write it down. And then Artisan 1979 wants to know how much you have to contribute to the Kickstarter to get a sketchbook, and is there a specific rate? I believe it's $25, but don't quote me. I'll check.
Nothing crazy though.
Campaign. Do. You can't get, it's 30
30.
because the 2 early bird tiers are gone. So $30 US for the Monday night draw. Sketchbook comes with a signed book plate. It also is a hardcover now for $30, and I believe we added another 5 pages of content to the book. So, and are
Yeah.
we at the 45,000 US mark? Does everybody get a Finch pin?
Yeah, we are. So yes,
Everybody
actually, you know what?
Everybody who paid more than $20 gets a free Finch
Man,
pin.
this is what we get for not having. By the way, everybody gets a Finch pin
Woo, woo,
because
everybody gets a pin.
yeah, we hit that number. I never even. Yeah, there you go. That's
There you go.
and it is a cool looking pin,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a nice pin.
and it doesn't say Finch on it, which would be
No, it's just a
it's
little
got the
picture of
little
the flock.
bird. Yeah, it's very
The
cool.
little bird, the logo. So there you go. Lots of stuff for your $30.
Yep.
Henry Jeremick's trying to get rid of me.
What's he saying?
He says, just tap out, Meredith, and let Eric finish up. David needs to go to bed too, Henry. He needs his beauty sleep.
That's a problem. I really, as much as it breaks my heart, I really do have to put a hard cap on time for these because I've got a cover sitting there that is due, and so I need to I have a window for these that I leave open every week, and I can't afford to let it push as much as I wish I could, especially for something like this. But you know what? I could say that every week because I'm always drawing stuff that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But this is a big one for me.
All right. If you haven't already, hit like. 769 likes so far. Can we get to 800? How much time do you have left, Dave?
I've got another 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Can we get to 800 in 5 minutes? We're 30 likes away. 30 likes in the next 5 minutes.
Oh, by the way,
What? By the way, what?
we've been talking about trying to get Jim Lee to do the show, right?
Yeah.
And I know that some of you guys have put a little pressure on him on his stream, which keep it up. But DC reached out for something this week, and I can't talk about it, but they wanted me to help him with something, and I said, you know what? Maybe I could get Jim Lee to come on the stream and we could talk about it a little bit. That would be great. Anyway, I will let you know how that goes. I don't know if they're going to go for it or not, but I tried, so we'll see. I don't know how much leverage I've got, but I'm hopeful.
He at least put it out there.
I put it out there.
Yep. Henry's backpedaling now. He's like, I'm not trying to get rid of you. I'm trying to help you. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it, Henry. Do. I hope Lance is still here. That's who this is for, right?
Yep.
Lance, you better still be on the stream. Oh, we made it to 800.
All right.
806. Woo, woo. Amy Morris. So, hey, Amy and Tom. So much flock love. Valentine's Day. Thank you, Finches, for all the love you show us. Thank you, guys. You guys show us love too.
We have Amy Morris's. She sent us a beautiful watercolor picture.
Yep.
It's upstairs. It's actually on our piano in our living room. We have it up there, and I keep wanting
patches.
and I keep wanting to bring it down and show it. So
patch.
next week, don't let me forget, Meredith.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's actually it's in our living room displayed. It's not sitting collecting dust somewhere. Well, I guess it is. everything here does, but you know what I mean? It's up. We have it displayed, and it's a beautiful picture. And yeah, bring it down here so you guys can all see it next week.
Comb Your VFX has a super chat. Oh, I don't think I said that right. But for $5, Dave, I've drawn 99% of my life, but I'm just now trying to get serious into it. What kind of tools do you use for inking, or where could I find out, please?
This is a Tombow. It's a hard brush pen. You can find them on Amazon. All the stuff you can find on Amazon. This is a Uniposca whiteout pen. I like these because it's a paint pen, so things go over it very, very well. They can be a little frustrating because they don't have the, and I don't know if you can really see this. It doesn't really show up on the screen, but it's really showing that my ink has bled through this a bit. 2 coats works. The fact that I can go over it with all of my pens is why I love it. Then I've got my actual brush pen. I don't know what is in this black thing. Usually I've got a gray one. The black ones, though, it's just not drying for whatever reason. But these are great. It's just it's a synthetic tip, and the end they unscrew the opposite way. But you can just these are disposable. So I've got these. It's a Pentel, and this should close it. Is my Micron. I use an 01. It's the only size I really use because when I want to go a little thicker, I use this. And that's really all of my inking tools.
Just texting Eric.
Okay.
Johnny D says, before the stream ends, happy Valentine's Day. I fucking love you all. So many little things you could do with Flock. And Jeremy says, Dave, please put this in the community section.
Oh, okay. I actually have a little bit of work I still need to do tonight. I'm finishing the editing on the next video. So I will throw this in the scanner and get it into the community section. It will be up within an hour. I'd say quicker, but
you really coming back down here to work?
Yeah, I need to. I need a clean start tomorrow. So
and Lance Boyer is here.
Oh, good.
Hanging into the bitter end.
We're almost done. Just putting a little detail in with my detail pen. I swear, I'm drawing so much artwork so fast nowadays. It's going to end up like, I wonder when in my actual comic art I'm going to end up just drawing fast, you know? That's what I worry about.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to get it done.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't sweat over it. I mean, I know you sweat over everything, but you can't always sweat over everything.
Look, you know what? This is a dream job, and I don't want to screw it up.
Fair enough.
So I'll take the time. Like, really, it's a job I love. It's worth the sacrifice. So I'm not hacking.
Henry, I forgive you.
He's still worried you're upset. So.
Yep.
Are you out of your mind?
I punished him long enough.
All right. I think we're just about done.
Oh.
And what time is it? 10:08.
10:08.
So not bad.
With 835 likes. Atomic Art's going to bed too.
All right. We lost Atomic. It's all over. Okay. I'm going to wrap it
All
up
over
there.
but the crying.
Let me just sign this one really quickly.
And 600 ended with 652 backers on the Kickstarter.
Wow, that is great.
Which is great.
All right. There we go. So there's Pitt. Actually, I've had so much fun. Look, it came out all right. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it looks great.
I'm not always, so I'm glad. Thank you, everyone, so much for spending Monday with us. Happy Valentine's
Day.
Yes, absolutely. To everyone. And we will see you guys next week. The nose video will be out just in a few days. And that's it. That's all we got. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
We'll see you next week.